What's going on, guys? Bengal again here, coming back at you with another video today, rebuilding the Kansas City Chiefs. Now, the Chiefs obviously are one of the best teams in football. This is one of the two final teams that I have to do before we flip-flop and do teams that we've already done, but in a realistic manner, or vice versa in a fantasy style, depending on which type we did previously. So the Chiefs will be in a fantasy style today. That means, getting some of the older players out of there and really trying to construct a super team by any means necessary. Now, we don't have to worry about quarterback at all over the course of this thing, as we have arguably the best quarterback in the NFL, Patrick Mahomes. I would probably take Russell Wilson just because he's been around longer, and we've kind of seen him at that level for longer. Patrick Mahomes, obviously a stud in his own right, though. If you had to pick a quarterback for the next 5 years, I think you'd be hard-pressed to take anybody over Patrick Mahomes. There's going to be the guys that want Lamar Jackson or Russell Wilson still, or, hoping Baker Mayfield can get back to his rookie self and develop, or maybe even go Jacoby Brissett on the Colts, who looked so great before injury. I don't know, but Mahomes would probably be at the top of my list. This Chiefs team is phenomenal. Also, if you are a fan of the Zero Overall franchise, just premiered on my channel yesterday as I record and upload this, actually. All the Patreon spots for roster spots are full. They went very, very quickly. However, if you still want to support, you can be in the draft class later on, and that would be like episode 15 or so. I'm not sure how the first season's going to go. It's going to be painful. Maybe I'll combine some games into the same episode. But yeah. It's going to be interesting. So if you still want to support on Patreon, that's fine. But the roster spots are full. So if you don't want to, if you're thinking about it on the edge, maybe don't. Obviously, I always like more money, but save it, I think, maybe. So also, I should mention that it is coming up to the weekend. Today's Thursday. If you're going to do anything on Friday, Saturday, Sunday, as in you'd need to buy tickets for something, make sure to use code BENGAL at SeatGeek. Save yourself $20 when you buy tickets for anything. So that's a pretty good discount if you're going to go to something. Might as well use the code. But let's go ahead and go over the roster. And it is a very talented one. Of course, injuries off per usual, so they don't really negate a good team build. We have enough working in our way already with how bad Madden Simulation is. We'll start on the offensive line. As Eric Fisher has actually shown some promise. As of late, looked like he was going to be a big draft bust in that Luke Jokel class, where it's like, ooh, who's going to be the first guy off the board, Eric Fisher or Luke Jokel, two offensive tackles that didn't really do much. Eric Fisher's been the better of the two, although not great. I believe this is Austin Wiley, or Andrew Wiley, if I'm not mistaken. Saw him on Twitter. Wasn't particularly familiar with him. Yeah, Andrew Wiley. Before him talking about his face scan, which is not a face scan. He's like, yes, it looks nothing like me. And it's, yeah, because you're not scanning the game. But he's probably going to be a player we upgrade. Austin Reeder out of USF, probably going to upgrade him as well. Not particularly good. Laurent Duvernay-Tardif, PhD. He's actually, he's got his doctorate. So that's very cool for him. Very cool. Stefan Wisniewski's on this team, and apparently very bad now. He used to be one of the best guards in the NFL when he was with the Raiders and then the Eagles for a bit. And then Mitchell Schwartz is a fantastic right tackle. Superstar development at that spot. One of the best tackles in football without question, especially on that right side. Travis Kelce is the best tight end in football. I don't want to hear George Kittle or Zach Ertz. Travis Kelce is the most complete, has been doing it for the longest time, and is the best. Blake Bell in there as well. With our wide receivers, it's an interesting group because Tyreek Hill is obviously a freak, the cheetah. However, he's got some off-the-field stuff. Believe him or don't believe him, he has a lot of stuff. But very, very good player when he's on the field, obviously. Sammy Watkins was a top 5 draft pick in 2014, went number 4 overall to the Bills. Has never really lived up to that draft stock, but has always been a decent player when he's been on the field. Demarcus Robinson was a decent player at Florida, has never really been too much except for this year. He's kind of paired with Patrick Mahomes when he's been on the field, and he's been pretty good. And then Mecole Hardman, it's McCole. I remember being Mecole when I watched him at Georgia. He was like a return speed freak, and now he actually shows some promise in this Kansas City offense as a crazy deep threat. We're going to play him in the slot this first year. Got LaShawn McCoy, Shady, Damian Williams, Darrell Williams, 2 D Williams on the team. And, of course, how could you forget about Anthony Sherman and Patrick Mahomes. 99 overall, superstar X Factor at only 23 years of age. He's on the cover. He's got a cannon. He's got unbelievable accuracy. He can really do it all. This is like your prototype if you could build a quarterback. It'd be Patrick Mahomes based on speed, arm, and accuracy. Of course, in the secondary, Juan Thornhill, rookie out of Virginia. Really, really interesting player. You'd think that he'd be more of a strong safety type, and Tyrann Mathieu would be that Honey Badger free safety spot over the top. I guess it's flip-flopped in here for whatever reason. Maybe that's how they run it in real life. I haven't seen a ton of Chiefs games this year, but I remember Tyrann Mathieu playing in a more traditional free safety role when I saw him on primetime. I think it was against the Broncos, if I'm not mistaken, or the Colts. Might have been the Colts. Linebacking core is poor. They traded for Darren Lee and Reggie Ragland. Both are not particularly good. They signed Anthony Hitchens to a decent contract. He's not particularly good. And then Damian Wilson doesn't really bring much to the table, if I'm being honest, at least in Madden. So we can really improve upon all those linebacker spots. On the defensive line, it's definitely the strength of this team, as we'll move to the cornerbacks in a bit. Frank Clark, Chris Jones is a monster. Derek Notty's pretty good. Alex Okafor, of course, took him horns, but he's all right. And then Breeland Speaks is not too much. Tano Passanon, not too much either. Mike Pennell is okay. Had a pretty good year last year with the Jets. And I think Patriots as well. He's been on them. And then at cornerback, Kendall Fuller, one of the best slot cornerbacks in football. Bashad Breeland's not particularly good. Morris Claiborne, Travarius Ward, not particularly good. Going to have to improve upon those spots as well. And then Dustin Colquitt and Harrison Butker are quite good at kicker and punter. But other than that, we've got a lot to improve on this team. Let's go ahead and make some trades. Guys that I think I'm going to be trading off the bat is probably somebody in this linebacking core. Maybe Daniel Sorensen, if anyone wants him, which they won't. Breeland Speaks is probably going to go. Alex Okafor is going to go. Any of the cornerbacks besides Kendall Fuller. And then probably, do we trade Sammy Watkins? Sammy Watkins is what, 27, 28 now? 26. I don't know about Sammy Watkins. Probably not, I guess. I don't know. Yeah, Sammy Watkins, look at that cap hit. We're going to be moving him. Shady McCoy as well. Just, old and cap hit equals gone. So we're actually giving up a decent amount of value here. But yeah, this is going to set the trend of the video. We're going to be trading for some beasts when we have the opportunity to. And Saquon Barkley is certainly that. He is an unbelievable running back for my favorite team, the New York Giants, and an unbelievable addition to this Kansas City Chiefs team. Eric Fisher, Sammy Watkins on the move, as well as a second-round draft pick. I really didn't want to trade that, but I think it's worth it in order to get Saquon on the team. And he definitely is a very, very big addition to this offense. Sure, we lose Sammy Watkins, but I think we can replace him, and then we have Demarcus Robinson, Mecole Hardman. It's still a pretty good receiving core, and we can definitely target receiver in the draft. So, we have options. We're trading Darren Lee straight up for Jerome Baker. I'm fine with this trade. Jerome Baker's a beast. He really is a tremendous player for the Dolphins. One of their bright spots on defense and their team in general. Only 74 overall in this. That's going to jump up a little bit, I would expect, when we move him to outside linebacker, if we want to do that. I want to get rid of Anthony Hitchens because I don't like his contract. I'm trying to create a lot of cap space, so we might take some negative cap in the first year, but I think we'll make up for it later when we have a ton of cap space and ability to do whatever we want, sign whoever we want, that sort of thing. But yeah, Jerome Baker jumps up to a 76 overall. We'd look for him to get a development trade. We still need to improve linebacker a lot. Breeland Speaks has got to go. I got to remember to trade him. And I'm also going to see who's an expiring contract and probably prioritize moving them as well. Trading Alex Okafor and Breeland Speaks for a first-round pick from the Dolphins. I'd like to get some picks back since we moved that second for Saquon. Don't have a sixth. Don't have a seventh. Although I don't usually take those anyway. Would be nice to have some, availability to move those picks for higher picks, but we'd have to get them, so it's kind of like more trouble than it's worth. I'm not sure. But I'd like to trade Anthony Hitchens still. I'd like to trade these cornerbacks if anyone wants them, and we'll have to see. I'm getting more picks. I'm getting the Giants first rounder as well. Maybe a second rounder too. Maybe we'll get their second rounder. They can keep ours, and we'll just settle for number 7 overall or projected. Anthony Hitchens, Morris Claiborne, and Bashad Breeland for number 7 overall projected from the Giants. And yeah, we've taken apart this team a little bit. I'm still going to move Shady. And that's probably it. Just wanted to, really give us some availability to, or flexibility, I should say, to move some guys around and be aggressive in free agency, which I don't typically do. Boom! Shady and Xavier Williams, as well as a third-round pick for a first and a second from Minnesota. I'm pretty much done with trading now. I just want to, again, check if there are any expiring contracts this season that would be beneficial for us to move right now. And I will do that by sorting by 0, and then we'll check. So Demarcus Robinson actually is. Kendall Fuller is, but I'm going to re-sign him. So Robinson could be on the way out because I don't want to bring him back. Anthony Sherman, it would probably be good to bring back. Emmanuel Agba, I'd probably like to extend. I wish you could do like mid-season extensions and restructures. Why am I struggling with the English language today? I'm not really sure. Reggie Ragland, there's no real point to trade. All right, but who did I say? Demarcus Robinson, and that's probably it. All right, trading Damian Wilson, and Demarcus Robinson. A lot of D's there for a first rounder from the Dolphins next year. Already stacking up picks for next year. And yeah, we disassembled the roster a little bit, which maybe kills our opportunity for a championship this year. But I'm cool with it because I think it's going to help us down the road to maybe be back-to-back Super Bowl champions down the line. So I am still excited for this season. We didn't really trade a whole lot of value, but we traded some guys that could be important to keep this team together. Like the offensive line undoubtedly has gotten worse with it's only a small downgrade from 74 to 68 from Eric Fisher to Cam Irving, but I don't know. I mean, even Demarcus Robinson's not a huge loss. Sammy Watkins is the biggest loss overall, and then the rest honestly aren't really even downgrades. I thought we did a lot more to take this roster apart. Not really. At the midseason mark, we are 4-4. The Vikings are 4-4. I don't like to see that at all. The Raiders are 5-1-1. Chargers not performing so well at all. Chris Jones is our top priority free agent. I think it's going to be huge to bring back a superstar X-Factor defensive tackle. Kendall Fuller, obviously as well. I think I'm going to bring back Emmanuel Agba. And I said we'd extend Anthony Sherman. It really depends what he's asking for. Like $3 million annually is not that rough. But I think Agba is going to give us more value, and we'll probably look to replace him anyway. But Chris Jones deserves a big contract. Kendall Fuller deserves a big contract. We don't exactly have a ton of cap room right now. But again, we're opening things up for the future, and we have to do that with Patrick Mahomes' contract. It's so big that we have to create a lot of space in order to build a juggernaut. So that's what we did this first season. I think we're setting up big time for the future. And it's time to extend some of our best players. And it's exactly what we did, bringing back Kendall Fuller and Chris Jones. I'm actually going to wait on Agba and Sherman. We don't really need to be too crazy with that, so we're just going to sit on it, see what happens. Playoff time. Will we make the playoffs? That's a good question. With the Raiders dominating so hard, I didn't know that we would, but we did, going 10-6. The Raiders actually fell off big time as the AFC West kind of evened out a bit. Check out our team schedule because I know the Raiders were absolutely cruising as we kind of got off to a little bit of a weird start and then really had a fairly good second half of the season with a weird bye week. But we did very well after week 8 in order to make the playoffs. What did the Raiders do? Because they were so terrible. I mean, they got off to such a good start. They were undefeated through 5 games, even 6 because they tied. And then loss, back-to-back wins, and then really bad end of the season, going 1-5 through week 12 to 17. Not very good, but I don't care because we're in the playoffs, and that's all I care about. Mahomes, pretty good numbers, obviously. Second best offense in football. Defense, not so hot. Mahomes was great. However, a lot of his production was leveled out with the addition of Saquon Barkley, and you really can't complain because it's a more balanced offensive attack. Saquon, 1,600 yards and 19 touchdowns, averaging over 5 per carry. Receiving, Tyreek Hill was electric, almost 1,300 yards, receiving 12 touchdowns. Mecole Hardman was very good as well. Pringle was in the slot for the first half of the season. That's why his numbers are so good. I switched Hardman in there, and then he got, obviously, a lot better. Travis Kelce was also fantastic. Defensively, Dorian O'Daniel led our team in tackles. Tackles for loss went to Chris Jones with 11, 10 for Jerome Baker. Quarterback sacks, 7 for Agba. Interceptions, we have 4 for Charvarius Ward, 3 for the Honey Badger. I know he doesn't go by that anymore because the Honey Badger is a guy that failed 19 consecutive drug tests, and he's not like that anymore. He's not about that. As Tyrann Mathieu did actually happen to have a touchdown. He was so fun at LSU. As Tom Brady in the 11-5 Patriots takes home the MVP. Mahomes in there at number 4. AFC Offensive Player of the Year is Tom Brady. Mahomes at number 2. Saquon at number 4. Defensive Player of the Year goes to Raekwon McMillan. Okay, no Chiefs. Offensive Rookie of the Year, Josh Jacobs. Hardman at 3. And then Defensive Rookie of the Year, Kari Willis for the Colts. Juan Thornhill at number 5. Not going to jump into any of these. It's only season 1, so we're just kind of going to see what happens if we manage to beat the Ravens. And we don't, losing by a field goal, 31-28. That is rough, but we did happen to make the playoffs, so it's all good. We'll see what we can do in the offseason to improve the squad. We have a lot of picks. I don't even know what our money situation is going to be like as the Colts win the Super Bowl. 49-31 over the Green Bay Packers. Should be interesting. So here we are in the draft. Didn't have any money in free agency because we took all the negative cap hit this year, so it'll open up things for the future. But we pick at number 8, and we'll see what's available and see what we might want to draft. And here is a receiver that I think would be a very good addition to our team. So why not? Kevin Cantu out of Wisconsin. Welcome to the Kansas City Chiefs. Apparently in my... oh, wait, he's actually quite good. Hold on. But also, apparently in my Chicago Bears rebuild, I called them the Cincinnati Bears randomly. Probably read something that said Cincinnati and then said Cincinnati Bears. Yeah, I know the Bears aren't from Cincinnati. I made a mistake. It happens. But to the Kansas City Chiefs, we're going to work on that today. Kevin Cantu. He's a 76 overall, star or better development. He's the number 2 player in the class. We took him at number 8. Here's my problem with that, is if he's the number 2 player in the entire draft at only a 76 overall, which isn't bad, obviously, but it's not like crazy. It's not like a 78 where there's a lot of room. He's the second best player in the class. So this is kind of a weak draft class I guess, which probably is going to mean I trade down and look to get picks next year or move them for players, because I don't want to be out here drafting and I think he was actually my next pick. I don't want to be out here drafting 75 overalls and have them be one of the best players in the entire class. We might be doing a lot of trading down. So we're trading a first, a 5th, and a 6th next year for a first next year from the Jets. It's just, again, not a pick I want. I want to get out of this first round big time. And it's not like we have a ton of picks in this draft anyway, but I just don't want to be here anymore because the draft class is it's lackluster, so I want to get out. We'll take a right tackle, though, in Jay McGraw out of Alabama. Looks like he could be something for us. 75 overall, top 10 in the class at number 9. Took him at 15. Only normal development, but already an upgrade over what Eric Fisher would have brought to the table, so pretty good in that regard. We'll actually take Clayton Wynn here out of Notre Dame. Think he could be pretty good. Great top skills. We need a guard anyway, and he is. Clayton Wynn, number 7 in the class, took him at number 22, 75 overall. Again, only normal development, but you're going to find that a lot with offensive linemen. He's very well balanced, seems to be a good player, and we'll definitely be playing him at left guard with Laurent Duvernay-Tardif in there. So, yeah, I mean, they're not overwhelmingly high overalls, but we've done well so far for sure. Trading number 40 and number 118, so a 2nd and a 4th for a first rounder from the Patriots next year. It'll be interesting to see what their quarterback situation's like. So maybe they'll do very poorly with Tom Brady retiring if that happens to happen. But yeah, we're out of this draft. We did fairly well. Got, 3 players, 75 overall and above for each of them. So, not terrible. So this was our draft class. A weird one, but not a terrible one nonetheless. We'll take a look at the top player in the class because I am curious to see what his overall was and what team he actually ended up going to. I see a 78. It's a cornerback, Dwayne Peak, who we looked at. I looked at. Only normal development. Man cover guy. Doesn't really offer much else. So, kind of a weak class overall, I'd say. So, Tyreek Hill actually got superstar development as well. which he was stripped at the start of the year when all that stuff came out. But he has it back, so good stuff. He's up to a 97 overall. Catching goes up by 2, which could be very good. He's up to a 94. He already has max speed, acceleration. Deep route running went up even higher. He is very, very good. Mitchell Schwartz and Laurent Duvernay-Tardif have been moved to left tackle and left guard for the rookies to start at right tackle and right guard. Kevin Cantu, I believe his name is. He's going to be our number 2 wide receiver. Also going to stick him in the slot with hopes of him winning Offensive Rookie of the Year. Tyrann Mathieu got superstar development. Juan Thornhill is revealed to have star development. We've got quite a squad here. The only thing we need to improve at this point, Colin Saunders, I didn't even talk about. Freak athlete. But only thing we really need to improve upon going into this next year is linebacker, of course, and edge. But that just wasn't the draft class to take them, and corner too. But I just didn't want to force it. Center, offense looks like it could be electric. So I'm very excited for this season. I think we're going to do fantastic things. Mid-season mark, we are 6-1. Doing quite well with this ragtag bunch of guys. Now we have Mahomes, obviously, who is due for a huge extension, as we talked about a little bit earlier. That's why we created all that space, because he's not going to be cheap. He is a very good player, which means he's going to be very, very expensive. Not great for our financial situation, as RG3's in there as well. But this is something that has to happen. This is a rebuild around Patrick Mahomes. We have the money to do it, but this is a really, really expensive deal, to the point of where it would be cheaper just to franchise tag him year by year, because he's not going to accept this. He was going to want more everything. So I don't know, man. It's going to be the biggest contract ever. We might just sit on it and wait. Although, I mean, we're going to have to get it over with eventually, so maybe that's not the best idea. We might just have to bite the bullet. As Kevin Cantu definitely has superstar development. That is fantastic. That is fantastic. Kevin Cantu, superstar development. Love to see that. 80 overall already. We just got to develop that route running, Kevin. Another playoff berth. 13-3. So we're even better this year, which is very nice. First offense in the NFL, which is an improvement from last year where we were second. How'd the defense come along? We had the first defense in terms of yards as well, which is a little bit surprising. First in points scored, and we were first in points allowed. Is that true? Wow, that's the first time I've ever seen this, actually. We just had the best everything. I've never seen that. I've never seen first for literally every single category. How do we even lose? We lost to the Falcons in week 1, and then went on a huge winning streak. And then happened to lose 2 games near the end of the year by 4 to the Broncos and only by 3 to the Jets. This is about as close as we gotten to a 16-0 season. So that's pretty cool. So this is the upgraded team. It's looking pretty good, man. Kevin Cantu's already up to an 84 overall. Morale's giving him a +1 boost. And then I don't know how this defense has performed so well. They're not really particularly good in any way, but they had the best defense in the NFL. I don't get it. We're in year 2, so I'm not going to jump in here either, but we beat the Jaguars only 31-28 as we have a rematch versus the Ravens in the playoffs. Played them last year, of course, and they beat us by 3 by the same score that we just beat the Jaguars by. Patrick Mahomes, Lamar Jackson for a shot at the Super Bowl. And the moment of truth has revealed that the Chiefs are in the Super Bowl. We will be jumping in now, of course. How can we not? Super Bowl Tampa Bay from Raymond James Stadium as we take on the 84 overall Lions. I imagine their quarterback is still Matthew Stafford. I'm kind of surprised they're an 84 overall. I would anticipate that they'd be a little bit lower. But they've made the Super Bowl one way or another, and we'll see if we can beat them for a shot to hoist that Lombardi here in year number 2. Just past halftime. It's a close game, actually, but we've pretty much had a two-possession lead the entire time, and that's going to continue here as the final score will be 35-21. The Kansas City Chiefs are Super Bowl champions. Matt Patricia can't believe it. These Lions throwbacks are really, really nice. I love these. Yeah, Matt Stafford, Kenny Galladay in there. But yes, the Kansas City Chiefs have managed to do it. Win a Super Bowl with Patrick Mahomes here in his 4th year? It would be 5th year, 4th year, 4th year. Yeah. Yeah. Stafford, heartbroken. Of course, there's a guy, Kevin Cantu. They said he can't to win a Super Bowl, but he proved them wrong. Terrible joke. But yeah, pretty good. Mahomes is your Super Bowl MVP, 283 yards and 3 touchdowns. Pretty good stuff. He'll win like a Ford truck or whatever. There we go. Who is that on the right? Oh, that's our starting middle linebacker. I don't even know who that is. But it's weird to see Saquon up there. We're number 30. Patrick Mahomes, Tyreek Hill, and Neiman. Weird, but we're going to head to season number 3, see if we can win back-to-back Super Bowls. Probably year number 4 as well. Oh, yeah, Mahomes is a free agent. That's right. The franchise tag is going to be expensive, but I don't think it's going to be more expensive than his actual contract. So, I mean, we'll offer him like 30. He wants to play for a new team next year. Well, it's not going to happen. It's 34 mil. So we saved like 3 million right now. You know what? Worth it. Travarius Ward can probably get a contract extension. Nope, you can't. That's way too much money. Absolutely not. Ben Neiman, no. Anyone in here we really want? Michael Bennett, no. Yeah, I'm out on all of them. In free agency, because of the Patrick Mahomes situation, we only have 9 mil, just under 10 mil overall. And where would we want to use that? I don't really think on any of these guys. However, Chidobe Awuzie could be just what the doctor ordered, prescribed. I don't know. He doesn't order. The doctor doesn't order shit. Awuzie has still not signed, which is weird. He hasn't signed with anybody. This is the most I could offer him, and he's just sitting on it. So I don't know. I mean, it's draft time. Might draft a cornerback. I've not seen the draft class yet, but we pick at number 6 overall. Might even trade up. Of course, the Vikings are at number 1. They would be. But we'll see what we can do here. It looks like a pretty interesting looking left end. Run stopper, of course. Looks very, very good. So a bunch of really, really good players. We pick at number 6. Number 14, number 28. Of course, number 32. And I really want some of these players near the top. Now, the reason that I have starred Mike Hubbard is because his attributes are out of order, which apparently means they won the Heisman. I don't look at the news stories, but he hasn't looked that good. But if he has superstar development, it doesn't really matter. He will eventually be good. Here's a running back, Clinton McGraw. Sounds like a country singer out of Notre Dame. Skipped the combine. He's a baller. Said Roger Goodell, up yours. I'm not doing it. Looks really, really good. Other than we don't know his combine grade. We don't need a running back. There's some good offensive linemen. But I don't know what we're going to take here. Probably something on the defense side of the ball. The cornerbacks are really lacking. And this one is a great free safety. Goes off the board first. Redskins take a middle linebacker we were looking at. There goes a defensive tackle, which we could have used probably. Sergio Wilson out of Miami goes to the Steelers. Pretty good. And Jordan King, a 77 overall tight end, puts us on the clock at number 6 overall, where I really want a strong safety. Dejon Joseph out of Texas looks to be very, very good. A little bit light for a linebacker transition, but he is tall. Tackles well. I feel like he'd be a good fit to be kind of like a money backer for us. But I don't know that we take him now. It's in the 2nd round. That is where his value is. I don't want to take a running back, even though Willis Casey at Ole Miss looks very, very good. I don't know. This might just be another classic case of the trade down. It's one of my favorites. Trading number 6 overall, a 4th and a 2nd next year for a 1st and a 2nd from the Vikings. Hopefully they're very, very bad, because all that is we're trading our 1st round this year for maybe a top 5 pick next year. So I like that trade for us. However, we have still 3 picks in the 1st round. We'll probably look to take the center at number 14 if he's available, which is strange because I'm not sure I've ever drafted a center in the 1st round before. And he is available. Colin Nance out of Texas. Hook 'em horns. Looks to be fairly good. Great top skills. A little bit weak, but he is a center, so it doesn't matter as much. He's at 76 overall, number 6 in the draft. Took him at 14. Only normal development, but very well balanced and can come in and start at center right away. So what more can you really ask for? Number 28. Hope that strong safety still on the board. I don't want to take one of these running backs right now, but it might not be a bad idea to take one eventually. But he is. We're going to take Dejon Joseph out of Texas. Great top skills. Think he's going to be a very good player for us. 77 overall, number 3 in the class. Star development or better. 90 speed, 71 zone. But he's got high tackle, high acceleration, crazy high hit power. Block shed isn't even very bad. This is a linebacker. This is exactly what we want at linebacker. Can play on the outside, so we have Jerome Baker, Dejon Joseph, Dejon, I don't know how I want to say that yet. We're going to take a tackle here. John Ford out of USF offers us some versatility. I just don't want to take a running back when we have Saquon Barkley. He's a 77 overall, number 2 in the class. Only normal development, but gives us a lot of versatility with Mitchell Schwartz, and maybe can play left guard with Laurent Duvernay-Tardif probably leaving in the not-so-distant future. End of the second round. It'll be interesting to see what's available, as not much. Although there is a receiver here in the 4th round with first-round potential. Bradley Burrow out of Louisville, 5'8". We kind of already have you on the team, and Mecole Hardman and Tyreek Hill. He's number 29. We took him at 64, and he has 92 speed, 90 excel. Deep route running is nice, but he doesn't really do too much all that well. And with only normal development, there's not a whole ton of value there, if I'm being honest. So, probably just a depth player. Maybe he'll return some kicks or something. I don't know. Trading this late 3rd round pick for probably the Falcons would be a higher pick in the 3rd round. Although I don't think either of those picks are going to be that good, because the Ravens are pretty good. The Falcons are pretty good. Both good playbooks. Draft, to recap, I would like to think that we did really well. We traded down. We still got talent. No players under 70 overall. Of course, they were higher picks, so that makes sense. But 2 77s and a 76, really not that bad. And then the top player in the class was a 78. It was the running back Willis Casey, but again, there just wasn't a need for us to do that. So we didn't need him. He probably is very good. He looks very good. Doesn't really truck that well. We'll see what his development is. If it's Superstar X Factor, it's kind of like, yeah, that's really cool. It'd be nice to draft those guys. It's only star. But we didn't need him either way. Rodney McKinney, the first one, I didn't see what the name was. He was really the guy that I would have wanted to fall to number 6 and give us, the ability to take a safety and maybe move him to corner or something like that. But I think we're going to be moving this safety to outside linebacker. And I know that's kind of a weird fit because he's only like 200 and something pounds. Well, I mean, like every linebacker is 200 and something pounds, but he's only 204 pounds, not even over 210. So he's light for the position, but everything about his attributes screams coverage linebacker, other than maybe his, power and finesse moves. He's not going to be rushing the passer all that much, but he looks like he could be a beast. Jerome Baker got star development, by the way. But yeah, Joseph, well, okay, here's what we're going to do. Never mind. Tyrann Mathieu is going to be moved to cornerback. That just makes the most sense. I mean, he's always been that kind of style player. Played cornerback really most of his career in Arizona in that nickel role, which, of course, nickel cornerback's far different from the boundary guy. Played more boundary at LSU. Even played, he kind of just was all over the field at LSU, to be honest. But I think his best role for us is going to be cornerback. And then I know we have 2 slot corners now, essentially, in Kendall Fuller and Tyrann Mathieu. But that's going to fix kind of our corner issue for the time being. We have Joseph, who's going to stay at strong safety in that case. We still need to improve at linebacker, a lot. Need a kicker. What is Laurent Duvernay-Tardif's contract? He's 30. He's not really progressing at all. He stayed as a 79. What's your contract, buddy? Would it benefit us to trade you? 2 years remaining. I don't know. I feel like based on us drafting this left tackle that we're going to move to left guard, I feel like it would benefit us to trade Laurent Duvernay-Tardif for a linebacker and kind of shore up that position a little bit. So I think I'm going to opt to do that. Our receiving core is excellent. Offensive line is excellent. Just guys developing, all young guys. We just really need a middle linebacker. Laurent Duvernay-Tardif, a 4th and a 3rd next year for Jawan Bentley. Actually, very easy to trade for. He's an 83 overall. I'd be shocked if he had a superstar development. He probably only has normal. But he is an 83 overall. Is a good addition to our team. I would need to sign a backup middle linebacker, I think, as well. We don't really have a ton of depth on this team, but that's okay. 90 overall, 93 offense, 87 defense. I am pushing for another Super Bowl appearance here. Charvarius Ward is still available. That wouldn't be an awful signing. Let's bring in another expatriate, a Landon Robert. Not that Jawan Bentley's an expatriate, but he is now. So that's a good backup there. I think Charvarius Ward would be good to bring back. Still young. He's a very expensive free agent to bring in for a one-year contract at $5 million. He's a top guy, but I think is a good addition to our team again. Just didn't make sense to overpay him for a big contract when I think we can do a lot better. But he's a good addition for right now, and that's what we're playing for. 4-3 at the midseason mark. Patrick Mahomes is going to get that long-term extension now. I'm sure there are a lot of you in the comment section that really did not like the fact that we didn't extend Patrick Mahomes big time, but we have a lot more money to do it now. Might as well just give him that money. It's only like $2.5 million annually more expensive. So we'll bring in Patrick Mahomes. We also have Travis Kelce, Saquon, Tyrann Mathieu, Mitchell Schwartz, Jerome Baker, Derek Nottie. We have a lot of big-time expensive free agents or impending free agents to bring back. Jawan Bentley, I would also like to bring back. He's not super expensive, and he's good. 83 overall. Hasn't been on this team for a while. Probably should have waited to deal with him, but Jawan Bentley returns. So we would re-sign everybody I wanted to, with the exception of Mitchell Schwartz, Derek Nottie, Jerome Baker. Of course, he wants a bigger bonus, which we can definitely handle. Tyrann Mathieu, who we paid as a cornerback, but that's what he's playing for us now, so that's okay. Saquon, Travis Kelce, Patrick Mahomes, all are back. Of course, Jawan Bentley as well. But, yeah, we had a lot of money. We have a lot less money now, but we obviously had to make those moves to bring those players back because we want to keep making Super Bowl pushes, and we're going to continue to do so. Oh, Dejon Joseph's a superstar. Let's go, baby. I wonder what else has been revealed. It'll be interesting to see. Cantu's up to an 86. I want Hardman to get star development. There's no reason why he shouldn't. And then defensively, I was hoping for Superstar X Factor, but Superstar is still good. Defensive line solid. Colin Saunders is really the only guy who's not great. Why is Chris Jones not playing? Explain that one to me. All right, we changed that. I don't know what was going on. I guess he was playing defensive end maybe. We might switch to a 3-4. I say that all the time, but I mean like Clark off the edge. Then Jones, Nottie. No, we don't have to. I mean Logan would be on the inside in that case as well. We still need another edge anyway, so there's no real need to change, I guess. Schwartz re-signs finally, and then really the only guy we need to bring back is maybe Charvarius Ward, but probably not. I'd rather draft a corner. But yeah, this is a playoff team. We're 7-4. I don't see a way we choke this. All right, another first round bye. We went 11-5. So did the Chargers. Almost stealing the division. Mahomes took a big step back in passing yards, but I'm sure that's because Saquon took over. Big defensive drop-off this year, but Mahomes still was very good. Interceptions are, I mean, a bit high for what you'd expect, but it's not too bad. Saquon was great. Darwin Thompson had 9 touchdowns. Receiving, we have Mecole Hardman, 10 touchdowns, 1,100 yards. Kevin Cantu was good. Tyreek Hill was pretty good. Very weird numbers, though, based on what I was expecting. But Dejon Joseph led our team with 102 tackles, 2 for loss, also had a sack. Dorian O'Daniel led our team in tackles for loss. Very strange. He also had 4 sacks, although 7 from Chris Jones led the team. We're not really getting a whole ton of pressure. Tyrann Mathieu, 4 picks is pretty nice. 4 fumbles, 2. He also led the team. Safety for Jawan Bentley, and then no defensive touchdowns. I wonder what type of awards we're going to be in position for as Deshaun Watson wins MVP. I tell you what, I'll be shocked if Dejon Joseph, who I say his name differently every time, Patrick Mahomes number 9, is not at least in the top 2 for Defensive Rookie of the Year in the AFC. Offensive Player of the Year goes to Deshaun Watson. Mahomes at 6. Defensive Player of the Year is Joe Schobert. No Chiefs. Offensive Rookie of the Year goes to Connor Wood. No Chiefs. And Defensive Rookie of the Year is Sergio Wilson. I am surprised. Color me surprised. He finishes number 3 and not number 2. It's unfortunate, but he already has superstar development. It's like, what's the likelihood that he gets superstar X Factor? Fairly low, but that's okay. All right, divisional against the Houston Texans and Deshaun Watson. We'll see if we can beat them and advance to the conference championship. We do. We wash the floor with them 35-10, and now have the overpowered Browns in simulation, 13-3. And in the AFC Championship, we want a shot at the Super Bowl again. Back to back. Can we do it? Yes. We are in the Super Bowl again, this time against another overpowered simulation team, the Carolina Panthers in Dallas. The Chiefs used to be the Dallas Texans. So this is kind of a return home in some regard. But we'll upgrade the team. I'll show you guys the team. I wonder if anyone got a development trait as it is Super Bowl week. 92 overall. This is a really, really strong team. And that quarterback, of course, Patrick Mahomes, bringing everybody else up. And Mecole Hardman got star development. Again, I don't know. McCole. I don't like McCole, as we have Nick Mullins too. Jordan Lasley as well on this team. And then defensively, I don't think anybody got upgraded that I can tell. All right, but another Super Bowl Dallas. We're a 92 overall to their 85. They've got some playmakers, though. Christian McCaffrey. Cam Newton's probably still the quarterback of this team. Luke Kuechly is arguably the best linebacker of the last decade. Bobby Wagner, I think, is maybe number one now. Both have been great, but, I mean, it's tough to argue against Luke Kuechly. He was drafted in 2012? But we will jump forward to the end of the game here, see if the Chiefs can beat the Panthers and be back-to-back Super Bowl champions. Not off to a great start, but we tie it up in a hurry. As we approach the end of the first half, we have a 14, now 17-7 lead, and we are running away with things here. Super Bowl Dallas at AT&T. Panthers not going down without a fight, but their defense just isn't good enough to stop the high-powered offense of Patrick Mahomes, and we are Super Bowl champions yet again. 37-29. Mahomes again, another Super Bowl MVP, and well deserved at that. Those were great numbers. 4 touchdowns. This time we got Jawan Bentley up there instead of Neiman. But Mahomes still hoists it. You guys have seen this before. We're not going to hang around all that long. But back-to-back Super Bowl champions. We'll go for the three-peat. We're not going to bring back Trevarius Ward. We don't really have a lot of money to begin with, because it's really, really expensive to bring back quarterbacks. He doesn't have star development. Yeah, our cap room is negative 11.5 mil. I don't like that much, but yeah, final season anyway, so kind of who cares. So we pick at number 19. I missed the first pick, who was a receiver. Parker McKenzie, 75 overall, out of South Carolina. Might make a move up. Oh, a baller. Baller. Okay, there are some sick cornerbacks. Oh my goodness, 4.29 speed. I'm in. 2 1s and a 2 next year gets me number 6 overall from my favorite team, the Cincinnati Bengals. No, I am a Giants fan. I don't know if you guys knew. I'm not the best actor, but that laugh was fake. 4.46 speed for Bernard Chambers. 6'1", 211. He is 23, so a bit older, but amazing top skills. I think he's going to work really well. And he is a 78 overall, star or better development, number 2 in the class. I hope to God he's not going to wear number 44. But good speed, acceleration, agility is crazy. Jumping's pretty high. Doesn't really catch the ball too well. That's why he plays corner and not receiver. Never heard that one before. But good zone coverage, good play rec. Looks to be a really, really good player. And we don't pick again until the second round. But definitely hit that one out of the park with our first pick. Only 2 players left on my draft board. We'll take Michael Marshall with the first one. He's a 70 overall with normal dev, number 30 in the class. More of a pass rusher, but doesn't really have great rush speed. Just, you know, a nice depth addition to our squad. And we'll take a defensive tackle here, Matt Buchanan out of Washington. Don't think he's going to be anything special. He's a 68 overall. We took him at number 60 or number 81. He's number 64 in the class. He's just a really good rush D tackle with his rush moves or whatever. It was A-. So it'll be good versatility on that defensive line. And hopefully set us up for the 3 Super Bowls in a row. Chambers is an 80 overall safety. Let's do that then. Let's move him to safety. And since we have a real huge hole at left outside linebacker, let's move Dejon Joseph to left outside linebacker. Problem solved. Dejon Joseph's an 82 overall left outside linebacker. Still pretty good. it'd be nice to have a real edge rusher. We just don't really have any way of getting one in. The defense is still pretty good, so I wouldn't really worry about it. And then offensively, it's as high-powered as they come. You know, no real stars other than Mitchell Schwartz on this line, but they're all pretty good, around that 80 overall mark. Receiving core is fantastic. Of course, running back and quarterback is, you know, arguably the best possible pairing in the NFL with Mahomes and Saquon. Mid-season mark, we are 2-5. That's fantastic. Reasoning behind that, I mean, your guess is as good as mine. We're at 90. Chargers, who are 5-2, and we play them this week. Let's see what their overall is. Not that it matters, but I just want to see. It's an 85. So they're not terrible, but they're not as good as we are. Yet they have, you know, our inverse record. So what's the problem here? The offense is bad? Seems to be. Our defense is bad too. Chambers has superstar development, by the way. That's always fun. Yeah, he's a bit of a beast. We'll simulate to the playoffs, see if there's any shot that we can actually make the playoffs. I've upgraded the team, have changed the defensive playbook to Cincinnati, which is usually a pretty good one, I've found. And we'll see if that does anything to make our defense better in the second part of the season. I didn't like the way I said part right there. I said it like I'm from Canada. But moment of truth, we might miss the playoffs after back-to-back Super Bowl victories. Not even just appearances, back-to-back Super Bowl victories. And that's the case. We finished 10-6 too. That's the worst. We almost fought back. Offense finished top 10. Defense pretty much stayed the same in terms of yards. And then points scored. Our offense was not the problem, clearly. Yeah, our defense they didn't have it this year. We won't even check out the stats. As the Titans, I don't even know what to tell you about Will Wilkerson. He's there. AFC Offense Player of the Year, Mahomes at 7. No Saquon. Defense Player of the Year, Myles Garrett. And we actually had a Chief in Bernard Chambers. He's definitely going to be Rookie of the Year. Kareem Fleming wins Offensive Rookie of the Year for the Raiders, and then Defensive Rookie of the Year, Bernard Chambers. Wow. He's a stud already. That's pretty cool. We'll simulate to the Super Bowl just to see player upgrades for development, if any happen. But that is going to be the end of the rebuild. That is going to be pretty much the end of the video, guys. I thank you so much for watching. We're a 92 overall, 97 offense, 87 defense is your final. Mahomes, I mean, you literally cannot upgrade this guy because he's a 99 maxed out all over the place. I mean, he has 3 skill points, and you just cannot use them. So, I mean, that's pretty cool, I guess. No development upgrades on offense, and on defense, none as well. But Chambers is crushing it. He is already up to, with morale, an 87 overall in his rookie season, +1 speed as well. Yeah, he's a bit of a beast. He is a bit of a beast. Probably our free safety of the future. Juan Thornhill would move over to that strong side just based on ability. And I guess we missed that dominant edge rusher on the other side of Frank Clark. But this was definitely a fun one. I always have fun drafting some of these beast players. And DeJon Joseph and Bernard Chambers, definitely 2 very, very fun players. And then Kevin Cantu even was a great one. We drafted 3 superstar players, which it's a pretty good hit rate, I would say. And then all the other ones were normal. We didn't draft 1 star development player. How strange is that? They were all either superstar or normal. Strange. This was a weird one, but it was a fun one, as they all seem to be. Hit that like button, subscribe if you're not already. Remember to use code BENGAL on SeatGeek to save yourself $20 when you buy tickets for anything. And that is going to do it for me, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Take it easy.